€1 billion was spent in accommodation for asylum seekers last year. The majority of people who receive deportation orders do not have their deportations enforced. Immigration is a very, very important issue, an issue that this government has been absolutely terrible at over the last number of years. Most of the information that's in the public domain in relation to immigration was achieved through Aontú parliamentary questions. We found at the start that about 85% of people coming to this country are coming from Britain, which is a safe country, through the north of Ireland and into the south of Ireland. It took 2 years for the former Minister for Justice even to admit that particular issue. It is quite incredible now that the failure rate for applications for asylum currently is around 80%, and that's increased from a figure of about 35% 4 years ago. That means either one of two things have happened. Either that the system of testing those applications has become far stricter, or there is a different cohort of individuals who are now applying for asylum in Ireland. And I have no doubt that there's a mix of the two in relation to this. I think the government has sent out a message loud and clear over the last 4 or 5 years that if a person comes to this country, it'll take about 6 years for their application to be properly processed. Even if their application fails and they receive a deportation order, they will not be deported. And even today, the majority of people who receive deportation orders do not have their deportations enforced. And I think that's quite incredible. We do not have exit checks at our ports currently, which is a major mistake. We do not have any effort by the government to work with the British government so that we can control the flow of people between these two islands. Aontú has suggested an Irish sea border for the movement of people in the same way that we have an Irish sea border for the movement of goods currently. And that is necessary if we want to get to control over this issue. There's a serious cost to this as well. Our parliamentary questions show that €1 billion was spent in accommodation for asylum seekers last year. If the failure rate is 80%, that means that we are currently accommodating a population of about 80% who are not going to be seen as asylum seekers, who are not coming from war and violence as well. So we do need to get to a situation where the government replaces the talk, replaces the promises with real action in relation to this. If they don't do that, we're going to have a situation where the cohesion of communities around the country is going to see further breakdown as well.